I'm just happy that there's a chance it's not Zach's baby, okay?
Why would you say that?
So you can move on. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Karen.
Of course you are, but it's how you say it.
Okay. We know you're going through a lot right now, Karen.
You telling me?
Danny, damn it.
All right, Sistas fans, hope everybody's doing well. This video, I'm going to pretty much dissect the Sistas Circle meeting that went down in this week's episode. Now, what I'll do, I played a little snippet at the beginning of this video because of copyright laws. I can only do about 30 seconds. Look, if you've been on the channel long enough, you know how I do things. I abide by the rules of YouTube, and to avoid Viacom striking my shit down. But also, what I'll do now is I will play the audio from the full Sistas Circle meeting, come back and talk about how, well, Andy and Sabrina had no reason to be there. But now, I'm sorry. You all know how I do things here. I tell the truth. I'm like Danny. I don't hold my tongue. But let's go ahead and listen to the moments from when the girls were waiting for Karen on the sidewalk outside of the salon to, Danny saying my work here is done, and then, spills the tea about Sabrina's print. So I will come back after that audio's done to talk about the meeting. But before moving forward, please take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe. Hit that bell icon to select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel. And follow me on social media. Links are in the description below.
Hi.
Good
Hi,
morning.
Karen.
We were waiting for you.
I see that.
So we're ready to talk?
I see that too.
Talk, Karen.
You want to talk out here? A normal person would let us inside, so. Thank you.
So? I went to the doctor.
And
I'm barely 4 weeks pregnant.
what does that mean, Karen?
I'm doing the math in my head. I'm not as
Danny.
fast as I used to be.
Please.
Sabrina is too, but she works at the bank, so she's a little bit faster than me. She got more practice.
I did, and I can.
Okay. So, say it.
So that means that was between the time you were sleeping with Zach and Aaron.
You don't know who the father is. What kind of moral pulpit stuff is this?
Danny, stop it.
Way to laugh at me.
I don't think that's what she's doing.
It sounds
not.
like that to me. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Karen, it's not. I'm just happy that there's a chance it's not Zach's baby, okay?
Why would you say that?
So you can move on. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Karen.
Of course you are, but it's how you say it.
Okay. We know you're going through a lot right now, Karen.
You telling me?
Danny, damn it.
Y'all. This is a good thing.
How?
Because Zach has moved on with Zatima. So now you can finally cut ties and move on too.
That's a pretty good point. But,
It's too soon.
yeah.
So just chill.
Okay. Fine. I forgot how this goes. I'm just gonna sit here, not say anything, because Danny never knows what to say. I'll just be quiet.
I actually like that idea.
I love that one. No. Let it out. Karen, you know that she'd be waking and baking, and when she starts speaking,
I want to hear what she has to say.
You know what? That's all I have to say. Zach has moved on with Fatima. Now you can move on with the preacher man.
I'm not happy with him.
Well, hell, he was tearing that ass up last night.
Okay. And what exactly was that about, Karen?
Yeah, if you're so in love with Zach.
I just wanted him. Yeah. I wanted him. I wanted to have that moment, okay? You happy?
was it worth it?
Guess she left out. She wanted it to be Zach.
Karen,
He left as soon as y'all did because he was feeling as bad as I was.
why?
I feel like I'm losing him. But I like him a lot. Oh, it's just so confusing. Karen, you're gonna have to figure this out. I know that. You don't think I know that. I know you know. Yeah. And every day that's all I think about.
Why?
What do you mean, why? It's a big decision.
I know what you mean. But that's not why I'm asking.
Then why are you asking?
Karen, you act like you gotta have this figured out right now. You have time.
There's a baby on the way, Danny.
Oh, really? Thanks a lot, Andy. But you got 9 months. So you have time. So leave yourself alone. Take all this pressure off. You don't have to have the answers right now. They don't have to come all at once. Sometimes they'll come in pieces and fit together like a nice little puzzle. Well, Karen baby puzzle.
That was actually pretty poignant.
Yeah.
Oh my
That
God,
was
Danny,
good.
poignant?
It's good.
Who the fuck?
You do be saying some shit when you smoke. I'm impressed. Thank you.
Anyway, you're welcome. My work here is done.
All right, so let me just say up front, we're almost 4 full seasons into the show. We're only like 4 or 5 episodes left of season 4, and again, we're 4 seasons into the show. I remember when these sister circles used to mean something, you know, especially during season 1. I think during my live stream or in the comments of one of my other videos recently, somebody said, yeah, the reason these circles just don't seem meaningful anymore is because, well, I will give props to Tyler Perry on this. When it comes to the writing of these characters in these sister circle moments, it's consistency. I mean, you kind of know what you're going to get. More often than not, Karen is the main subject of the sister circle because what was it? I believe in late season 2 when Andy took Gary back after I think he proposed. He, you know, was briefly staying at her apartment. He asked, could you not tell your girls about everything that goes on between us since they don't seem to like me that much? Andy really kept a lot of the Gary stuff not to herself, but she kind of like expressed it through Fatima and Robin in season 3. So if I remember correctly, I don't think there were many, if any, sister circles that focused squarely on Andy. It was all about Karen. And at that point, you know, it was kind of always the same thing. You could also argue there was that one sister circle moment where the girls went to check on Sabrina after the whole bank robbery thing. And, you know, Calvin had probably one of, if not, in my opinion, his greatest moment on the show. I'm not talking about the twirling in the bank thing with Jacoby, but I mean, he literally told them girls off. And I love that. So basically, from there, Karen is again the focus of the group. Danny is the truth teller. She gets silenced multiple times. And I did love this sister circle moment because Karen was like, you know what, we're not going to do the norm where Danny is silenced. Andy and Sabrina just, you know, try to make light of the situation by telling Karen, oh, we're here for you. Everything is going to be okay. And it's really Andy saying that while Sabrina, tries to soften the blow of what Danny said. Andy does the same thing, but then eventually Danny says something that Sabrina's like, well, that's a good point. And then Andy's kind of like, wait, I thought you were on my side. And after Danny's spoken her piece, Andy kind of takes over, and then that's it. But no, this time Karen let Danny speak, and I do give it props for that. Now, I did make it clear in my review in the live stream, I did not like the way the women acted at the beginning of the episode, just barging into Karen's apartment and then expecting, pretty much Aaron to leave so they could stay. I mean, hell, they even said they weren't going home. They were going to wait outside of the door until Karen and, Aaron were done, which was completely awful. Just awful. Thankfully, Karen really told him off, like, look, I will tell you tomorrow. And yeah, usually I'd be like, oh, Karen, it does not take until tomorrow morning for you to just simply say, I don't know who the baby daddy is. No, she had every right to kick their asses out. So I have no, debate against that. And then the fact that they just stood there, arms crossed and whatnot, acting like they have the right to really, demand answers and whatnot, despite the fact that they were the ones being completely rude to her. So, we go to the next day. They are outside of the salon and they go inside. Well, Andy's like, the polite thing to do, polite person would invite us inside. That way we're not standing on the sidewalk talking about the situation. I'm thinking to myself, polite? Well, y'all weren't polite when y'all just barged into the damn apartment last night. So the fact that they had the nerve to act like, they were the ones who weren't being rude is astonishing. So let's just cut to the chase because you heard all the audio. Just to kind of give you a quick, brief rundown. Karen confirms she went to the doctor. Danny makes her say, well, after saying, barely 4 weeks, she makes her say it. She has no clue who the baby daddy is. And at first glance, you're probably like, see, there you go. Danny's making light of the situation. She's joking about it. No. Because what is it? Sometimes it's better for a person to say something as opposed to having someone else say it. That way they can believe it more. It's like, yes, I have to say I don't know who the baby daddy is, which is definitely refreshing because if Karen can go around claiming Zach is the father, Karen should also have to say, you know what? I don't know who the father is. But the question is, who's going to tell Zach that there's a chance he isn't the father? Okay, so from there, Danny says she's happy there's a chance Zach isn't the father so that she can move on. And for whatever reason, Sabrina and Andy in unison kind of give her a glare like, what the fuck you just say that for? Which, two things about this. Number one, Danny, it's kind of weird for her to say this considering a couple episodes ago when she was at Zach's house. You know what? I think the baby's yours, Zach, and I think you know it's yours too. To, wow, now I'm happy that there's a chance it might not be his. That way you can move on. Keep that same energy, Danny. Also, second thing about that, what was wrong with what she said? There was nothing Danny said in that moment that was anything different from what Andy told. Well, then again, no. Apparently, Andy acts like that whole situation at her office where Karen came in right after Zach, right as Zach was getting taken away by the police. When she said, well, Aaron's a good man. I mean, you clearly see Zach's moved on. And as your friend, as your sister, you need to move on. So what was wrong with what Danny said? There was nothing wrong with what she said. But there were at least 5 or 6 times where I ain't gonna lie, if I were Danny, I would be like, Andy, put your hand and lightly tap me one more time and see what happens. I'm about to get out of this salon chair. So, Sabrina's like, look, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it, and plus it's too soon. Okay, sure, 3 years of history, but at the same time, Karen told Zach multiple times in season 1, you need to move out and find your own place. I need to find someone better. I need someone who's going to treat me better than you. And I want to see how things play out with Aaron. she had no problem getting rid of Zach. Yes, Zach was pulling Karen back in season 1 where he would just constantly pop up and whatnot unannounced and, try to get her back. But the thing about it is, the sisters are so annoying because they always talk about Zach's shortcomings, what he's done to her, but none of them call Karen out for her BS. And when Danny does, she's quickly silenced. But I will admit, keep your mind on what Andy said about too soon. It's too soon for that, okay? So Danny's like, you know what? I know I forgot how this goes. I'll just sit over here and not say anything. And he's like, you know what? That's a great idea. Yeah. But Karen's like, no. Let her speak. I want to hear what she has to say. Thank God. Just thank God. Because I really do appreciate that. So pretty much Danny's like, look, Zach has moved on, but you got the preacher. So what's so bad about that situation? And she says the most ridiculous things within the span of 30 seconds. I'm not happy with him. But he was tearing that ass up last night. And then she does admit, and I love how Danny makes her admit, like, you know what, fine. The reason I wanted it is because I wanted him to fuck me. I wanted to be with him because I wanted to feel something in that moment. And then Danny's like, yeah, because you wanted it to be Zach. And then the girls are like, wait, what? What? Karen is like, look, I like him. I like him a lot, I do, but I feel like I'm losing him. It's so confusing. Danny's like, why is it so confusing? Why would you say that? What, Sabrina, what did Danny say? What? Karen's talking about it being so confusing, but what the fuck she just said was confusing. It made no sense. If you're not happy with him, but you like him, why are you so, I guess you could say, acting like, oh, wow, I am losing him, but you're not happy with him. So what does it matter? I don't know. It's like, it's ridiculous. I don't know. Remember how Steve Urkel would chase after Laura throughout the entire duration of Family Matters? And yeah, at the very end they got together, but years, seasons of him just pining after her, trying to get with her, and she was with other people. It's crazy how we're having Karen doing the same thing to Zach after he's moved on with Fatima, and Aaron just, for some reason, refuses to let go of Karen. But Karen is just flip-flopping where 1 minute, you know what, I really like you because you bring me ice cream and you rub my feet, versus, but I'm still not over Zach. So it's like, you got to stand 10 toes deep. You really need to make up your mind what you want, because Aaron, this man ain't going to stay around forever. And then as soon as he finds if he decides to find someone else who will appreciate him and all he has to offer, Karen's going to act pissed off. She's going to act entitled, and watch her try to get back with him. It's the same thing with like Preston dating these women, and Danny acts like she's offended by it, despite the fact that she was the one that said, hey, you know what, we're not in a relationship, and I'm not going to teach you, the proper way to love me and all, so no. Yet it's okay for her to sleep around with other men. Okay, so from there, Andy says, you need to figure this out. Don't you think I know that? Yeah, I know. And then I'm like, yeah, that's kind of why I kind of see why Andy doesn't always say what needs to be said, because Karen will snap on her and she kind of can't handle that. And it's just one of those things where you got time. And I'm like, wait, what? Because it's not because Danny said you got time to figure this out, because Danny said some real shit here. Because you don't have to have everything figured out. Yet Andy decides to say, time, she has a baby on the way. And Danny rightfully says, duh, don't you think I know that? But no. You need to figure things out in your own time. Don't rush it. Take the pressure off. You can put the pieces of this little Karen baby puzzle together and be good, as opposed to having everything figured out right now. And then all of a sudden, Andy and Sabrina act like, wow, that's very profound. Yeah, that's great. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. No. Y'all be quiet, because y'all added nothing to this conversation. Also, Andy, why did you tell Danny it's too soon when she said Fatima and Zach, they're moving on. They've moved on. You need to do the same. You can do the same to Preacher Man. It's too soon for that. But then when Danny says, you have time to figure things out because you don't need to have everything figured out right now. Don't you know there's a baby on the way? AKA meaning that, we don't have time for that because there's a baby on the way. 8 months. So it's really confusing. It makes no sense. Why would you say that it's too soon for Karen to move on, despite the fact that there's a baby timeline on the way, yet you tell Danny that there's no time to figure things out? So it's like, what in the world are you talking about, Andy? So there's no time for Karen to figure things out because there's her baby on the way, yet you say it's too soon for her to move on, indicating that Karen needs time to move on from Zach. But the thing about that is, if it is not Zach's child and she has still not moved on, then what? By that time, hell, Fatima and Zach probably be married and whatnot, or engaged at the very least. So what's Karen going to do then? She can't file for child support. She has no reason to be popping up at the house because at that point, especially if the baby ain't hers. Zach, Fatima would be like, yo, you got to get out of here. So ain't going to be no, hey, you can come in the house and see if Zach's in there. No, it's going to be fisticuffs. So from there, everybody, especially Karen, who does have the right to say, yeah, you do say some, good stuff when you're high and whatnot. So then from there, Danny's like, my work is done. But folks, this sister circle, yeah, we don't need them anymore. Do that thing where Danny's just the one who's telling what needs to be done. I'm not saying that Danny ain't got her own shortcomings and she needs to be put in her place from time to time. But when it comes to these women, yeah, we don't need no more sister circles. Just have Danny come up to like either Andy or Karen or whoever to really tell them what's going down, because we don't need to see the girls together. Danny being the only one who tells the truth. She gets quickly silenced, only to have Andy and Sabrina, try to make light of the situation, make someone feel better. But then 2 sister circles later, when stuff really hits the fan, they start saying exactly what Danny was saying, and they act like it's, real talk, good advice. Danny, why are you in the corner not saying anything? Well, I said this shit episodes or weeks ago, and I was told to be quiet, so no, I ain't got to say nothing. So, and it's funny because more often than not, Danny don't even want to go to these damn circles. It's too early in the morning. Girl, I'm laying in bed. I ain't trying to go. We need to go. For what? Why make her go if you're going to silence her? So that's why I give props to Karen, as ridiculous and as convoluted as her, I'm so confused, I'm not happy with him, and I feel like I'm losing him. What? She at least let Nanny speak, so I can't be mad at her for that. So, with that being said, folks, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. These circles are ridiculous. I feel like instead of, women in their 30s, we're seeing these girls acting like high school, college girls. The fact that when you get to a certain age, I don't care who your friends are, you gotta let them know some real shit. Like, look, let's be real. We're talking about another life that's entering this world, and I get it if you haven't moved on from your ex, but he's moved on. You need to calm your ass down for the sake of that baby, which Andy did tell her at her office. But again, I guess we're acting like that conversation never happened. No, the last thing you should be doing when you're pregnant is just sleeping with sure, Aaron just isn't in anybody, but you shouldn't be sleeping around like that, because you need to make sure your physical and mental and emotional state is as good as it can be, given the hormone situation. That way you can make sure you have a healthy baby. It's like, figure the whole, feelings thing out later, but this isn't the time to make light of the situation or say to Karen what she wants to hear, just because, Andy's confused about her situation with Gary, or Sabrina's confused about the whole Prince situation, or I'm not even going to mention Calvin. Karen is in a life-changing debacle right now, a mess of her own making. And the whole shifting blame of, oh, well, Zach did this, and, you know, Aaron's a good man. And no. The real talk needs to be Karen admitting why she's doing what she's doing, why she's just sleeping with Aaron to be felt. No, this is not the time for that. No. So props to Danny. But even though I like when all the women are together, only save that for like when they're going to dinner or something. Let's not do any of these sister circles anymore because they're really pointless. So that's just my opinion. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, because moments like this makes it even more, you know, more clear why I never wanted Fatima to be a part of this sister circle group, because it's just toxic as fuck. That's really what it is. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe. As always, you know, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we're almost at 210,000 subscribers. I think we need like 500 more people. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description, and I'll catch you in the next one.